We are already in week 6 of the NFL 2021 season. A lot of close finishes this week, just like every week so far this season. So let's just get right into it. If you want to get your account grinded all the way to the max level, or if you want players, you want coins, you want training, you know where to go, man. MutReserve.com. Use my code CK for 15% off your order, and I promise you'll be rich one day. If you are new around here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Now let's begin with the quarterback position. Dak Prescott led every quarterback in fantasy in week 6 with 30.8 fantasy points, 445 yards, 3 touchdowns, only 1 interception, while leading his team to a victory in overtime against the Patriots. Josh Allen, second in fantasy for quarterbacks in week 6, 353 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, also had 26 rushing yards. And then Kirk Cousins, who's actually on the waivers in my fantasy league, he was third best in terms of fantasy in week number 6 for quarterbacks, 30.52 fantasy points, 373 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. What is this man gonna have to do to become a 99? Derrick King Henry, 37.6 fantasy points in week number 6, 20 carries, 143 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 catches for 13 yards. It's kind of getting disrespectful how he's not at least a 98, let alone a 99. Jonathan Taylor, I think this is back-to-back weeks seeing him in the top 3 for fantasy running backs. You love to see it. 30.8 fantasy points, 14 carries, 145 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And then Leonard Fournette, 22 carries, 81 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Also 6 receptions for 46 yards to give him 30.7 fantasy points. CeeDee Lamb led every single receiver in week 6 with 38.1 fantasy points, 9 receptions, 149 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Cooper Kupp, second in fantasy for wide receivers, 9 for 130, 2 touchdowns for 36 fantasy points. I think he's the best receiver in fantasy so far this year. If you drafted him, congrats. Adam Thielen, 11 for 126 and a touchdown, 31.8 fantasy points. He just produces. That's what he does. Jalen Waddle, the rookie, 10 for 70 and 2 touchdowns, 29 fantasy points. Dolphins were missing like their top 3 receivers, so Waddle had to step up, and he did. Same with Donovan Peoples-Jones. Another young guy who stepped up, man. 4 for 101 and 2 touchdowns, 28.1 fantasy points. He was 5th in fantasy for wide receivers. Honorable mentions for wide receivers. We're going to go back and do the other positions. Marvin Jones, Antonio Brown, Stephon Diggs, Cortland Sutton, and Tyreek the Cheetah Hill round out the top 10 wide receivers. Joe Mixon, Najee Harris, Darrell Henderson, Dalvin Cook, Darrell Williams, Kenyon Drake, and Aaron Jones round out the top 10 running backs. And then Kyler, Matthew Stafford, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Rodgers, Derek Carr, and Tua rounding out the top 10 quarterbacks. And then finally the tight end position, Noah Fant, 9 for 97 and a touchdown for 24.7 fantasy points, most by any tight end in week 6. And then Mike Gesicki, 21.5 fantasy points, 8 for 115, wasn't able to score, but he did a lot of damage. And then Kelsey, Andrews, and Howard rounding out the top 5 tight ends. Derrick Henry, once again, is bringing his offensive line to the fantasy leaders of the week team. We have the Titans O-line, really good from top to bottom, only one guy below 70. We are on the Rams, and honestly, I've never seen a 100% scheme fit in Madden before on a team where we didn't trade anyone, you know, on that side of the ball. So we didn't trade any of these guys. This is just their team. It's unbelievable. So it makes sense why they're able to dominate the Giants and be the #1 fantasy defense in week 6. 3 interceptions, a fumble recovery, 4 sacks, only 11 points allowed. They had 17 fantasy points, man. Down on Ramsey. Let's see if they can lead us to the promised land. Halfway through the season, we've actually tied somebody. We'll take a look at that at the end of the season. But right now, we got to worry about beating Deshaun Watson and the Texans. Dak has one of his favorite targets in CD. Oh, they sent the blitz. Wow. All right, well, CD's going to be wide open. Could have been a better pass, but we'll take the yards. Could have been a better route, too, man, if we just stayed in bounds. We're still running, and it's a touchdown, but it's all good. Not worried about him. X wide open Dak, who's finally in the 90s. Well-deserved ratings upgrade from Mr. Prescott. He's having himself a good season. Here's the play action. Dak again. Back to his tight end. Nice catch. We've only targeted 2 people right now. You haven't really tried to run the ball with Henry until we get stopped. We're going to keep on doing this. Let's go, man. That's another dot to CD. 3rd and 1. I mean, would you rather have any other running back? Come on now. Derrick King Henry right up the gut. Lowering that shoulder, getting us the touchdown. Imagine using the Rams and not using Aaron Donald every play. Like, that would just be a travesty. So, that's what we're going to do. Spin move, Aaron Donald. Ooh, he almost got the sack. How did he get that off? How the hell did Watson get that pass off? You know, you can't forget how good Watson used to be. Or how good he still is. Who knows? You know, when he gets to play, if he gets to play again. But, you know what? Let's focus on the people that did play in week 6. Like Derrick Henry. Please tell me y'all agree he should at least be a 98. I mean, come on now. How is he still a 97? Matter of fact, how is he not a 99? Okay, I'm tired of it. I'm not even a Titans fan. But it's really ridiculous. Like, the dude is doing things that should not be done. But there are other players that also made the team, so enough about Henry. How about the young guys like Peoples-Jones, Waddle, putting in work? Man, Tua was in the top 10, so even though people are saying he didn't do amazing, he did well enough to get 2 of his teammates in the Fantasy Leaders of the Week team, so I don't want to put it all on him. How about Thielen bouncing back? Man, we love to see it. I think he had a couple weeks there where he just was not getting targeted like that. But that's why you keep starting him, because he's a guy that can just go off any week. You know the talent's there. He just needs to get the targets. Ramsey, nice deflection. Or pass breakup, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to put Donald in a spy. It's crucial 3rd and 5. Using Burgess. Go get him, Aaron. He wants to scramble. Go get him. Oh, that's an interception. No way. Oh, thank God he dropped it. Dak, putting it right on the money. Gesicki gets us inside the 30. Henry, right up the gut. Let's see what he's able to do. Nice blocks. Henry, second level, low on his shoulder, picking up the first. Now we're looking for Thielen or Cup. One of them should be open. They just have a knack for finding the open spot. Actually, we're just going to take off a deck and get the touchdown. We're at the 27-yard line. 1 timeout, 16 seconds. We need a dot. And there it is. Why did they leave? Cooper Kupp wide open, off to the races. Dak to Cooper for the game winner. Just like he did to CD in week 6. Rams are above 500. So they finished 11-5-1, second in the NFC West. Oh, offense is second in the NFL. Defense is top 10. Dak had a good season, 36 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. Henry, 1,700 yards, 20 touchdowns, over 100 yards per game. Unbelievable. Thielen and Kupp led the way in receiving. CD was third. 4 guys had 7+ receiving touchdowns. Burgess led the way in tackling for the defense. 23 tackles for loss for Donald. 22 sacks. By far the most on the team. And then there were 4 guys with 2+ interceptions. Henry gets in the top 10 for MVP voting. And Donald wins DPOY. Now take a look at the schedule. The team we tied was the Colts in week 2. So we actually started 0-3-1. Just a horrendous start to the season, man, but they rallied back, made the playoffs. Let's see how far they were able to go. Well, we lost in the first round, 40-36 to the Cowboys. Even without Dak Prescott, they were able to do their thing. Stafford was the reason why, man. He outplayed Dak. It is what it is, but hey, another solid performance by the Fantasy Leaders of the Week. At least making it to the playoffs. That's not an easy feat. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like the video if you did. I'll see you guys on the next one.